The New Jersey Devils, the NHL's breakout team last year, they won 13 games in a row. They missed out on first place by 1 point. They added Timo Meier at the deadline. They added Tyler Toffoli in the offseason, and they have one of the NHL's best cap-friendly pages. They've been doing it right. Devils had 112 points last year. 112 after being like dead last the previous 2 years. It's an amazing rise. What do you think the betting odds are on their points?
They're darlings right now. I'm going to say 112.5.
Okay, Jesse, that is really fucking high, Steve. Oh, my God.
They're darlings.
Jesus. 112 points. That's like top two in the
what are you
NHL.
talking about?
I think people love
That's
them.
not how the odds work.
How do the odds work, Jesse? Explain.
It's going to be 106.5.
106, you're close. It's 107 and a half.
Hey,
That's like sportsbook.
Yeah.
I was 5 points off.
No, but that's a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right.
When you're talking about points.
Well, Devils fans, I believe in you.
Now, I was going to start this with what do you guys love about the Devils, but my question is really what's not to love? What's the thing?
I don't know.
What's the thing?
Can't give them 112.
What's the thing when you think about the New Jersey Devils right now? What comes to mind, guys?
Whee! They're going to be fast and score a shitload of goals. Are they going to make some mistakes? Yes, they are, but it's going to be fun. They are going to be the best out-of-market viewing experience in the NHL this season.
So wherever the Devils are playing and whatever they're doing, if your team isn't playing or they're playing the late game or whatever it is, watch them.
You cheer for the Leafs, the Wylde, the Ducks, whoever the hell, and your team's game isn't on, turn on the Devils.
Going to be fun.
Going to be fun.
Jesse, what do you think when you think Devils?
They're so good. The two things I worry about is the goaltending and then just where they're going to fit all of these good players.
Right. So let's start with defense. Jonas Siegenthaler is apparently going to be paired up with Dougie Hamilton this year.
Love that.
Luke Hughes and John Marino, Kevin Ball and Colin Miller. You also have Brendan Smith and Simon Nemec available.
So it looks like it'll be Ball and Marino and Hughes and Nemec.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I had to ask Devils fans today just to make sure we had the lineup right.
Because I want to know them around, right?
If Nemec makes the team, that's a big deal. If Hughes and Nemec, that's how they have it
Second.
as of when we're recording. They're going to be the third pair.
Second overall pick.
That's a big deal.
That's a strong core.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really good.
If you have Dougie Hamilton and Luke Hughes on the same team on reasonable deals, which they do, that's amazing.
They'll be a cup contender this year, but like you look at that roster, there's every reason to assume they're going to get better year over year.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
Don't you just hate it?
A lot.
Goaltending. One big question. Is Akira Schmid for real, or is that one of those special runs that players go on in the playoffs? He did save their postseason
Yes, he did.
because Vitek Vanacek is there. Who's the number one goalie at the end of this year, guys?
It's definitely going to start Vanacek. I'm going to give Vanacek some credit. I think
There's a reason that he's in there.
if it's
There's
not,
a reason he's paid $3.5 million.
no disrespect to Akira Schmid, it's either going to be Vanacek or someone who's not currently in the organization. They'll make a trade.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Why don't you believe in Akira Schmid?
Why don't you?
It's,
why do you have
it's
love
nothing
for
about
Akira?
that. I like Akira.
Okay, you
But
like him,
if-
but you don't love him.
If they score a bajillion goals like we all predict they're going to, but Vanacek's not that great and Schmid's not that great, which I think kind of aptly describes how they ended last year, why not go out and get a goalie? You're going to win a cup if you do. Sir?
Steve,
Which one of us is the Devils
I'm
fan?
actually shocked. Like I really am.
If you have weird that you have a goalie who had a 922 during the regular season in 18 games, and then in the playoffs had a 921 in 8 starts and 4 wins, and you're like, you know what? He might not win this job.
And Vanacek, by the way, had a
might
911
not.
save percentage last year and a
Yeah,
245 goal.
Vanacek's whole thing. Vanacek had a fantastic regular season. I
Yes,
assume you
yeah.
have the numbers up there. It was just in the playoffs, he lost it.
Yeah,
It
he
was
did.
unfortunate for the Devils that he couldn't get it together.
So did
But-
Schmid, though.
Yeah, but you had Schmid and Waiton, and he held his own.
Like Schmid killed the Rangers, and then it kind of, Cinderella, turned into a pumpkin, or however that fucking story goes.
That is
in the second round.
Steve, that's a take about the goaltending. I'm really curious about that.
I could absolutely see Akira Schmid win the job. I could see him winning the job, but
you just don't think it's likely?
he's had like weird development. Like he was playing in the NHL way before he should have, and
Yeah.
and, last year, all right, he's getting his feet under him, and oh shit, we got to call him up and have him play probably earlier than he should. I don't know what he is at this stage in his career. Like it's almost like you have to keep him in the NHL at this point, and he's got to develop on the fly. I think he's a really good goalie. I do.
No.
But if you have a chance to flip Schmid for like Hellebuck, I'm sorry, you do it.
Okay. So with that, I want to move to the forwards. Okay. Timo Meier, 26 years old, $8.8 million.
Frig off.
Jack Hughes, 22 years old, $8 million.
Frig off.
Jesper Bratt, 25, $7.875.
Frig off.
Nico Hischier, 34, $7.25 million, and then it goes on to Palat, Toffoli, Haula. Those are your four best players up front. Those guys are all under the age of, well, they're 26 and under. Like, that, not even, because Prime's supposed to start, what, 26, 27?
Depends who you ask. Anywhere from like 24 to, I think, 29. Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It's
and those are
extremely
all
good.
long-term deals. None of those guys' contract expires until after the 26-27 season.
Tom Fitzpatrick. He learned it when he was with the Leafs and the Devils.
Fitzgerald.
Did I call him Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You piece of garbage.
I know. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Tom Fitzgerald. It sounded wrong when I said it.
Tom Fitzpatrick.
I almost called him Tim
I'm sure
Fitzpatrick.
Tom Fitzpatrick's a really nice guy, whoever he is.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick's a great old quarterback.
There you go. Yeah, we like him.
that's a good
Fitzmagic.
deal. Fitzmagic got a great beard now.
I had a... I had a principal named Fitzpatrick.
No, that's what it is.
Okay.
There you go.
That third line is kind of, I was going to say the first line, but like the third line, I think, is what's going to carry them to an eventual competing for the Stanley Cup.
Who's on that third line?
It's going to be Palat, Haula, and Mercer. And that third line is so good because your first two lines are already stacked that you have these three dynamic players. That could be a great second line on like an average team. And
Three Blake Colemans.
yeah, and they're going to play so hard versus everybody else's third line. And I'm really worried about everybody else in the league going up against Palat, Haula, and Mercer.
Well, they did what they did last year with Palat, like what, half of the time? Like a quarter of the time?
He was injured for a long, long time.
Yeah.
He
I
was.
remember
And they didn't have him to start. Like, oh my God.
I
They're going to be
irrationally
so
love
good.
Andre
Yeah.
Palat. He's amazing. And what those guys are going to bring in the playoffs, you're absolutely right, Jesse. I mean, there's so much experience. You got, Palat, who's a Stanley Cup winner, Haula, who's been to the finals. I don't think he won with Vegas. Right? No, he didn't.
No.
He left right before. Those are major, major difference makers. Now, I also want to talk about defense. How much does this pain you? Because I just ran you through how young and amazing these guys are. John Moreno, 26, making 4.4. Siegenthaler, 26, 3.4. Luke Hughes still has 2 more years left on his ELC at $925,000. He'll probably hit his bonuses, but still.
It was good that they gave him that experience last year. Like, I know, like, a lot of the fans were calling for him to get moved up to the NHL, and it was great that they did that and gave him that little experience. I always find that's effective.
It is.
When you bring in that guy for those last couple games, and then you throw him to the playoffs. Like, same thing at least did with Matthew Nyes and all that. It always helps.
I don't like yo-yoing players, but doing something like that, I think, makes a lot of sense.
And then they stick the following year.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're also really smart in the fact that they don't have a lot of dead cap. Corey Schneider and Yanni Kukkonen.
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. $2.3 million. By the way, quick trivia. Before we get to where you guys have the New Jersey Devils in the division, by the way, I think I already know. How many more years of cap recapture do they have on Ilya Kovalchuk's contract that I would argue kicked off the last lockout? Although Steve has an argument to that.
So this doesn't count against the cap.
It's cap recapture. I have no idea if cap recapture. I think it does.
How many years?
I think it does. How many years left of cap recapture?
I'm going to say until 2034.
Okay, that's interesting, Jesse.
5.
There's 2 more years.
Oh,
$250,000 apiece. But that deal is not. It's still. I mean, it's an old deal.
Oh, yeah.
That deal is more than 10 years old now, guys. We're getting older. Okay, so where do you have the New Jersey Devils, Jesse Blake?
We
New
didn't
Jersey.
mention in that entire thing that they added the leading scorer of the Calgary Flames.
Right. I did mention Toffoli, but we didn't focus
They
on it.
took the leading scorer from a very good team and said, hey, we're going to insert you to our first line, and now we're just even better.
What if we
Aaron
gave you
Govich is pretty
something
good, but-
as good, but less, actually? They didn't give up much.
no.
No, not at all. Calgary had their hands tied behind their back, and it's a great pickup by
They're
New
going to
Jersey.
score 5,000 goals. The only thing I suppose is there's only one puck. But if they ever change that rule, the rest of the league is fucked.
I have them second in the division just by default because Carolina is going to be really good and New Jersey's also going to be really good. So second.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I had to pick one of them.
Yeah.
And I picked Carolina. So I have the Devils second. If they're first,
Yeah.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
They
surprising.
finished a point apart, which is why I have the Devils first. And I think the reason I have the Devils first, too, is Carolina did run into some bad injury luck. And I think New Jersey's just a little bit younger and perhaps a little bit healthier. Because no matter how healthy you say you are, these are NHL players. There's always something wrong. And the New Jersey Devils are just a lot younger. So fewer miles. That's why I went that way.
Yeah, you're betting on young legs, and that's a good bet.
So with that, the New Jersey Devils are wrapped up. Are you ready?
I'm ready for another season of Tim Fitzpatrick's team.